And again, we have to do a responsible thing and keep reminding everybody, wearing a mask is the law. Think about it. Your government cares about you that much that they created a law to protect you from others and protect others from you. So just ensure that you follow that law because, it is for the betterment of us all and the protection of us all. And also, if that wasn't motivation enough, well, there are some fines attached to it as well and possible jail time. So ensure that you wear a mask, you hand wash, you keep your physical distance, you sanitize, and just be safe. Of everything, just be safe. Now, I am looking forward to this following conversation. We are going to be speaking about a healthy relationship symposium for women. Joining me this morning, it's Onika Maz, who is the founder of Women of Substance, as well as Noreen Nalia, who is the Deputy Public Affairs Officer of the U.S. Embassy of Port of Spain. And we also have Tisha Jenkins, who is the CEO of Bold Consultancy. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm really excited about this conversation. So before we jump into the information about the symposium itself, let's speak about what a healthy relationship is supposed to be like from a woman's perspective. Onika.
Well, a healthy relationship is supposed to be a relationship that you are comfortable in and you are not walking on eggshells, right? You don't have to be wondering, if your partner is going to be abusive to you in any way or the other.
And I will throw the same question out to you, Noreen, and then Tisha.
Thank you so much for having us. And it's been a while since I've seen you. I think the last time we were in studio.
Right, when times were different.
That was a while ago. Exactly. I think it was right before Carnival, actually.
Right.
So thank you for having me again. And, this is one of my favorite topics to be able to get out and discuss, and one of my least favorite issues that we have to keep discussing. But what I think has been a really great change is that we used to really just focus on teaching women to defend themselves, physical defense. And now we're really focusing on that prevention by teaching both men, women, however you identify yourself, but really just teaching people that they need to understand what a healthy relationship is so that they can recognize when a relationship is not healthy and they may need to get out of it immediately. And that healthy relationship to me, it means respect, it means trust, and it means, affection, all of those things. But at the end of the day, there's got to be respect and trust and level of peace and stability. So that's how I think of healthy relationships.
And Tisha, what about you? Tisha, are you hearing me?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And I echo the same idea around what is a healthy relationship and the importance of not just about women, but with men, women and men, boys and girls. And to me, a healthy relationship is based on mutual respect, it is based on support, and more importantly, it is based on a sense of not living in fear. So many people live in fear in their relationships. And being able also to have a relationship is about being able to communicate effectively. And so it starts with our youth. Building healthy relationship definitely starts with our youth, it starts in our schools. Healthy relationships is something that should be taught in our places of worship, because all of these are opportunities to encourage people to be able to effectively communicate and about this sense of mutual respect.
No, I think this topic is so key. One issue that Trinidad and Tobago has been battling with for quite some time and still continues to battle with is that of domestic violence, spousal abuse, and even it goes further on to cases where there have been deaths, at the hands of the perpetrators of violence, even very recently. There has recently been a very horrid picture going around on social media of a woman. I don't want to really describe it too much, but a body was found. That is what I would say. And, let's dial it back a little bit. How do we start fostering the need for healthy relationships and maintaining healthy relationships and knowing when to, it might be time to walk away? How do we start putting that, on the forefront and the front burner? And, aside from aside from, you know, what you were saying earlier, Noreen, about teaching women, you know, physical, like self-defense, you know, how do we get to that point where, you know, they may really evaluate a relationship, realize whether it's toxic or harmful, and get to that point of being able to do something differently?
So I think that's a fantastic question. And what I would actually challenge is that a lot of times it's the abuser who also does not realize that they're participating in an abusive relationship, that in that toxic relationship. So I do think it is important not just to teach women, but to teach everyone, because anyone can be a victim of this, but also to teach people who could potentially be perpetrators, that we all need to recognize when we may be engaging in toxic behavior. You know, I used to be an attorney for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And one of the first things I learned was shocking to me, that you can be someone who's in a happy, healthy relationship with one person and have been completely abusive in another relationship with someone else. And part of that is really learning whether the relationship you're in at the time is that healthy relationship. So it's a good question. How do we teach people? And I think these discussions, you know, the US Embassy is always proud to support, to sponsor these kinds of events, these kinds of conversations, as we are with this program that is coming on Saturday. It is one of the most important conversations we can have. We've been having a lot of discussions on healthy masculinity that Onika also sponsored in Tobago earlier this year. Were we able to have that? I think we were able to have that, right, Onika, before everything ended. And then we were planning this event actually in March, but we all know what happened in March of this year. So, you know, we've been really trying to sponsor these discussions because we need to be having them. We need to be having them constantly. We need to be having them with our kids. I was just on the internet the other day reading a blog about someone who was, you know, celebrating that people whistle to her on the side of the street because it validated her self-esteem. I'm like, you maybe need to look at having a healthier relationship with yourself.
Right.
It should not be someone harassing you on the street that makes you feel good about yourself. You need to find internal ways to feel good about yourself, or healthy people around you who have a healthy relationship with you to validate your self-esteem. But really, that needs to come from you. That really,
Right.
really needs to come from you. And I think part of that healthy relationship to me is always with yourself first, and then with people around you that you can have that healthy relationship with, that non-toxic relationship. And that once you surround yourself with those, I think you become better at recognizing when your other relationships are not as
Right.
healthy.
And so we want the information for the symposium now. How do we participate? And are men allowed in that symposium as well?
Oh, yes, men are allowed. Actually, the symposium comes off on October 3rd from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we advertised we advertised on our Facebook page, Women of Substance, and we are going to be streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, because actually registration has closed off a week and a half ago,
Right.
unfortunately. But men are allowed, because the objective is to empower both males and females, right? And that is why we encourage a lot of men to be a part of our programs, and also the main reason why we have our Women of Substance have our boys symposium at secondary schools, so that we could have the conversation with the young men from an early stage. Because as we know, males are a huge percentage of the perpetrators.
Yep.
So the conversation, they need to be a part of the conversation. It's not only about women. So Women of Substance is not only about empowering women, because of course there will be an imbalance if we only empower women and not empower men.
That's right. You know, men need to be a part of the solution as well. And with that, I want to thank you all for joining me this morning. Onika Mars, founder of Women of Substance. I want to thank you as well, Noreen Nalia, Deputy Public Affairs Officer, U.S. Embassy, Port of Spain. And I want to thank you as well, Thecia Jenkins, CEO of Bold Consultancy. Thank you for joining us this morning. We look forward to the outcome of that symposium coming up